Hello guys, here is the Fenix RC40vn40. There's 240 because coincidentally the factory named this light the RC40, and with everything that I mod I attach a suffix VN for VinWin next to the name of the light, okay, the model of the light. And coincidentally this light happens to put out 40,000 lumen. So there you go, RC40vn40. Okay. Yes, it puts out 40,000 lumen. And let me just show you how bright 40,000 lumen is. Okay. That's 40,000 lumen. It's, yeah, it's very, very bright. Okay. Obviously, 40,000 lumen is absurdly bright. Okay. You've seen the RC40 host before by Fenix, so in terms of build quality, there's nothing really to say. So let's just talk about the build. And because aside from the shell of the light, there's nothing, all the electronics are new, okay? The battery pack was reconstructed with 6 new Sony VTC5. And the reason I picked VTC5 was because they have the lowest internal resistance. They just push the hardest. Harder than VTC6 that I tested. I haven't found anything that pushes harder than VTC5. So that's why I chose that battery for this light. After the build, all the other features of the light still works. You can still, the battery check still works. You still charge the light via the wall AC adapter via the DC port here. So nothing changes there. The light, come on. The light also has a USB port here, so you can use the battery pack as a power bank. That's still there, so yes, you can still use this light to charge your phone or iPad. So nothing changed. The rear end of the light, the charging features of the light is unchanged, except for the type of batteries inside the light. The battery pack no longer has the built-in circuit protection, so you will have to watch for low voltage. So if the light is substantially low in output, you would want to recharge. Business end of the light, okay, you can see that there's a ton of quads and there's 4 XHP70. So that's exactly what's in it. There are 8 quads total, okay. All the quads are made up of XPL HI V3 bins, cool white LEDs, about 6500 Kelvin, okay. And then there are 4 XHP70 LED here, okay? I chose 5000 Kelvin. The reason I put in the 4 basically neon-like reflectorless LEDs here is so that you have a very, very wide spill beam, okay? Basically a wall of light. And it's there so that once you turn on this light, everything in your peripheral vision is lit up, right? Because you basically have a meal, and it basically have 180 degrees angle of spill width. So that's why the 4 LEDs are there. However, the 8 very Carlo narrow optics quads here puts all of the output in one large hotspot. So 40,000 lumen. Driven on 2 Jar VNX2. Each, let me show you right here. As you can see here, the 4 inner quads and the 2 outer XHP70 here are powered via 1 Jar VNX2 via one button, okay? And the other button powers the other half of the LED. So I'm going to turn off the right half or the center half, and then you can see here this left button powers the rest of the other LEDs. So 1 quad, 2, 3, 4 quads, and then the other 2 XHP70, right? So you can run half of the light or all of the light. See? Half or all. That's the other half. And then here you can have all of them, right? And the light being, right, the buttons being side by side next to each other, it's very easy to use your thumb. Even with my really small thumb, I could hold the light. I can press both lights simultaneously. So look, if I press them all, if I hold down the button simultaneously, I'll have low on both banks, okay? If I hold them both down, I'll have medium, and then high, and then turbo. And anytime I do want turbo, I can easily use my thumb and click both buttons at the same time for turbo, or hold both down for low. So it's although both two banks of LEDs operate on two independent circuit via two different buttons, you can really just use the light as though the buttons was one because they're so near each other, and it just works out perfectly. And that's one of the reasons why I picked this host, okay? And on top of that, Fenix is just amazing build quality. They have really nice heat sinking design. And that's another reason why I picked this host. The heat sink, I basically threw out the internal of the head here, the reflector, not the internal. Tear out all of the internals, and I build a very thick heat sink. Okay, I cut. Oh God, I left it upstairs. I should have brought it down. Should I run and go get it, or restart the video? I should do it. Give me a minute, okay? Okay, sorry for not being prepared, but I do not want to start the video over. It's just very, very tough. So here's the heatsink, okay? It's one big sheet of aluminum. I don't have a CNC machine, so I have to make everything by hand, unfortunately. And it takes forever to build one of these lights. So here's the sheet of aluminum, and I basically trace it out, and then I'll cut out smaller circles, and then I glue them together, thermoadhesive, Arctic silver, the round pieces together to make a heatsink that fits exactly, a custom heatsinks that fits exactly inside of the light. The tricky part is to cut all of the round circles to fit exactly around the head of the light. Okay, I have to hand sand them down, makes it fit almost like a piston effect. And at the bottom of the heatsink, I have to tap into the bottom of it so that I can actually screw down the heatsink. The screws comes from this side, and it'll pull the custom heatsink into the body, and then it's thermoadhesive glued underneath between the two surfaces. So the custom heatsink is extremely well mounted to the light and relieve heat. What else? There's a hole at the middle of the heatsink that goes through all of the layers of the heatsink, and it runs down all of the wires. I purposely picked lighter color wires so that you don't really see them and it doesn't look all that messy. And then to finish it off, obviously, when you glue all of the copper MC PCBs so the LED sit on it, the glue, the Arctic ceramic adhesive oozes out from below the copper MC PCBs. So what am I going to do? It's really hard to remove them. So what I thought of was, you know what? I'm going to give it a custom engraving on the surface of the seeable, presentable surface. That way, you'll have a nice finished. The thermal adhesive is removed, and it just looks nice. It looks very, very well finished, and I'm very, very happy with it to have that texture look. Okay, that the LEDs sit on. It's easier to see from the photos. I have the photos online. It's easier to see the photos. You can see the engraving texture. Okay, it's kind of like an alligator scale effect. Okay, I try my best. So because this light is all hand built, custom, now I'm gonna build. I have about 5 orders of the 6. I took on 6 orders. Okay, and you will please do not expect them all 6 to look identical. I will try my best. I will line up the LEDs so that it'll be perpendicular with the buttons. I will try my best to make everything look as presentable as this first sample. And I'm very, very happy with this first sample. And it was very difficult to build the first sample, but now that I know how to build one, everything else is going to be very easy. You can see here I already have everything traced out, and one of this piece of aluminum here is enough to build 4 or 5. I might have to get another piece, but this is at least good for 4 more RC40vn40. Okay. I kind of wish I had a CNC machine so I could just press several buttons and it'll just, you know, CNC a little cube. Fits perfect, but I don't, so, you know, but gives it more character, I guess, that everything is built by hand and fit perfectly. So, as you can see, I'm very, very happy with this light. It throws amazing just because there's so much output. So what does it throw? It throws 165K lux. I don't have a calculator here to convert that into meters of throw, but 165K lux beam intensity is pretty good for a flutter, okay? I would not call this a thrower because it is not a thrower. It floods. If I bring it out to my backyard, my entire backyard's lit. Everything's lit. The reason everything is lit is because of 4 XHP70 making that wall of light, and then you have all the optics throwing a hot spot, so everything's lit. And it's obviously a flutter. It's just ridiculous to call this a thrower in any way or form. But 165K lux back in the days was a thrower. If you remember the Olight SR90, God, I remember I paid around $450 for that light. Maybe I bought it used, so possibly about $400. I remember the light was close to $500 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I paid around $400 for that light, Olight SR90, when it first came out, and it was the shit, all right, for lack of a better term, all right. It was the shit to have back then. It throws so well, and it was so bright, and you know what? It puts out like 1500 lumen, and what was the throw? It puts out 100K lux. This thing puts out 40,000 lumen and 165K lux, or no, they're about the same size. So yes, technology has really came about, all right? 100K lux, 165K lux. The 1500 lumen, 40,000 lumen, okay? That's, you do the math, how many times more bright that is. So, and they're about the same price. No, not about the same price, they're about the same size. I'm sorry. Talking about price, how much is this light? You know what? I don't even want to say the price, but what the heck? You're going to email me and ask anyway. It's $1,500, okay? $1,500 for this light. Is it expensive? Yes, it is expensive. Is it too expensive? Yes, it is too expensive. It is too expensive for anybody, all right? But I put a lot of work into it. I put a lot of work into it, and I make it look as nice as I possibly can, as presentable as I possibly can. All of the individual posts are blued color, and if you don't like blue, I think blue works out well. But if you don't want blue, you can have red or whatever color. Just send me an email, and I'll make it whatever color of the optics post. But blue works out nice, looks nice. 40,000 lumen, okay? Oh my God, that is really hot. Woo, that is hot. Okay, so it's so bright, the beam is hot. What else can I say? This is kind of a one of a kind. I would love to be able to save up enough money from selling 6 that I can have one for myself, okay? Because I like it that much. So I talk about the build, battery pack, circuit, and how the heatsink's made, how the LED's mounted, how the finishing surface. Yeah, that's about it. There's nothing else to say. It's just a really nice, bright light, and I just wanted to show you. I'm more excited showing you the light than anything, showing off the light than anything. This video will probably never be on Skylumen because I do not plan to mass produce this light. And honestly, I will likely not take any more orders on this light because it's just too much work. And I know $1,500 sounds like a lot of money, but for the labor that I put into this light, I make more. It's more profitable making other lights, smaller lights. Taking on multiple orders, regular orders, is more profitable than working on this light. And I can only reserve an hour or 2 on this light a day, and half the rest on other. I have to work on other projects. So chances are, the 6 orders that I took on is plenty. So I don't think I'm going to take on any more. So obviously it's not going to be on Skylumen because As crazy as it sounds, at $1,500, people will order it. I know it's crazy. I didn't think I was gonna sell 5 either, and I honestly sold 5 in like 2 days. So, and I sold 4 in the first day. So, I just didn't think that people would pay $1,500 for it, and you know what? I'm not ripping you off at $1,500. I think I would rather build small lines. So, I know the price is absurd, but it is what it is. I can't charge any less. And I'm very, very happy with this light. Just wanted to show you. That is all. What else can I say about this light? I'm really excited, as you can see. It's the first light that does not fit in my integrating sphere. That is too bright for my integrating sphere. Okay. When I first, I was completely shocked. A little funny story here. When I got the light, finished the light, the prototype testing sample, I put it into the light, into the integrating sphere. I turn it on, and I got like, what the heck, like 8,000 lumen. I'm like, what the hell? 8,000 lumen. I mean, you can tell I was disappointed. I spent weeks on this light, and I got 8,000 lumen. And I was like, that can't be good. All right, I'm gonna plug it into charge, and you know, it's sitting there on the charger, and I was really disappointed. I was so disappointed. It was like a minute of silence for me. I mean, it was like 5 minutes of silence that I just sat there, and I'm like, 8,000 lumen, all that work for 8,000 lumen. Okay, that is not cool. And I with my math, it should come out around 30,000 lumen at least. Okay, so 8,000 lumen is very disappointing. And I was like, even if the battery is fully charged, it's not going to jump from 8,000 to 30,000 lumen. And my meter, as far as I know, is capable of around 25,000 lumen. Okay, thereabout. So when it's fully charged, I walked over to the integrating sphere. I put it in, and I double-clicked the button, and the meter went nuts. It read an error. It was just because it's over the value that the meter can handle. And I'm like, whoa. So does that mean is okay? At least now I know is over 25,000 lumen. All right. So I did one bank of the LED only. I was like, oh, that wasn't it. I turned the light off and I walk away. And I'm like, okay, so how am I going to measure how bright this light is? Because it's just too bright for my meter. And I'm really curious, okay? So I sat there at the computer. I know that it's crazy. When I'm passionate about something, I take long moments of silence, just sitting there and think. Sometimes I don't even think anything. I just take moments of silence where I just sit there and freeze, okay? And that's what I did, actually. I just sat there at my computer desk, and I did not think anything. Nothing came across my mind. I just sat there. And then it hits, okay? I'm like, hey, you know what? Why don't I just run one bank of light, one bank of LEDs, and see if if the light meter can handle it. I'm sure it can. So I ran over, and I double-clicked one bank of LED, and it read about 21,000, 22,000 lumen. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. 21,000 lumen off of a single bank of LED. So, and I turned it off, and I read the other bank, and it came out like 21,000 lumen. So 22,000 lumen, something like that. So I assume that both on will at least give me 4,000 lumen. And I like the number 40, so, you know, honestly, I think it's probably brighter than 40,000 lumen, but doesn't matter, okay? 40 is a good number. And with ANSI standard, it'll probably drop down to 40,000. So the point is, 40 is a good number, and I'm happy with that number, okay? So I'm like, okay, we're on one bank, let's say that it's 20,000. The other bank must be 20, okay? And then I post up that it's 40,000 lumen. A customer on my page on Canopal Forum told me that, you know what, but you might be wrong, because if you're running one bank of LED, you're using 6 cells to power half of the bank, so that's why you have a lot of output. But if you're running the same 6 cells to power now all of the LEDs, you have reduced output. So I was like, fine, I will try. So I did now, obviously I have to run both banks just to see if there's an output drop. So I use a meter, an external meter. I just put it on the table, did a ceiling bounce, and you know what? Guess what? It's still pretty good, all right? It's about one bank, read a number, 2 bank read approximately double the number. So there we go. It's good enough, all right? That it's 40,000 lumen or more. And I like the 40. I like it that it reads RC40vn40. Even if it was 42, 42, it doesn't matter. I like the number 40. Very, very happy with this light, as you can tell. And yes, I don't think I'm going to take any more orders on it. So that's that. Thank you. Thank you.